Let me give you a quick review.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so it starts off just pure, pure speed and chaos, like
Uh-huh.
amazing heavy
What
thrash
kind of
as fast as
what
possible.
kind of instruments were we working with?
It's a metal band, so
I don't know.
guitar,
They
bass,
don't have any like
drums.
saxophone or like flute
No,
solos.
honestly, Johnny Booth probably should invest in a saxophone because saxophone and metal goes hard.
Hell yeah.
I'll introduce you to a little band called Rivers of Nile.
Yeah.
Mm. Anyways, song starts off just pure chaos, dude. It's so fast and frantic. And then it just slows down kind of out of nowhere and goes into this funky, light, melodic, like interlude, which Johnny Booth is, it's kind of what they do.
Hmm.
And then it slides back into some heavy, but not as crazy as it was in the beginning. And then it goes into just this crushing breakdown at the end. And then the song just sort of ends.
Hmm.
That's what Johnny Booth is, if anybody's curious.
Hell yeah.
So
Is
good.
that kind of the blueprint that they've laid out with their music, where it's like it starts off kind of crazy and fast and then kind of just has a switch up at some point?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Mhm.
I like groups that'll do that. The album that I've been listening to recently is Blue Lips by ScHoolboy Q, and that's that album. Is that album is like there will be moments where like it starts off as one song and then feels like a completely different song and then transitions back into the original song, or sometimes it doesn't. Like oh man, it's a very weird feeling because like watching an artist kind of evolve over time is always weird to me. So like I think about
Oh, I love
Oxymoron
that.
and Blank Face, and now like into Blue Lips, like obviously, and any of the collaborations he's had in between. But like watching that evolution and like seeing where he's at now, it's like wow, like you got better. That's cool. I'm glad for that, right? Like, but also just
I love
the
that. I mean,
I don't have the
you know
creative
how I listen
mind.
to music and listen
Yeah,
to an
yeah.
entire album from start to finish. So watching some of these bands that I've followed for years evolve and change and
Mm-hmm.
deviate, but still something like Norma Jean. Some people actually give Norma Jean shit because there's not a founding member left in the band.
Hmm.
The band that
Interesting.
is now, nobody was there at the beginning of Norma Jean.
Huh.
The longest standing member is the vocalist Corey, and he came in. I think he started on their second album, but it might have been their third when he started being in the band. And it's really interesting. It's really interesting evolution,
Yeah.
and they've gone a lot of different ways. In some ways, they have heavier songs now than they did, and in some ways, they're a lot lighter, more melodic, kind of more. I guess the word I want to say is controlled. Almost like
Mm-hmm.
they have all these abilities to play really heavy, crazy music, but they tamper it down to make a really good melodic song, and then they just explode into some craziness because that's metal.
Hell yeah. Hmm. It always surprises me, and I like that's why I like finding like newer, or not even newer, but just like new artists that I've never heard of. Um, and I think about Strong Boy is one of the bands that I found in recent years. That's just this
Strong
Strong
boy.
Boy, boy spelled BOI, funnily enough.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and there that's just a group. The lead singer is this woman who's been performing for years and been doing music for years. Um, but then had this kind of collective thing where she released some music as under this title of Strong Boy, and it's like incredible music. And I'm like, wow, this is. But it's all just like I had never. I think that's why I like to explore. Like when people send me a recommendation, I'll absolutely listen to it no matter what. Um, because I never know what I'm gonna find that I'm gonna really really like. There's been recommendations. The Underachievers was a recommendation by a coworker, and I listened to it. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. And like, they just released it. Funnily enough, they just released a new album, like last week, which is fucking awesome. New
Nice.
Underachievers music finally.
Oh, was
Uh,
that announced and planned?
they had talked about the thing that is they had never set a date, but they had talked about they had been releasing singles and like saying like, hey, we're gonna we're working on a new album, but like they didn't say shit, and then they just dropped the album, and I was like, ah, and I did. So day
Oh,
one, I
that's
just
so
listened to
good.
the whole thing. Um,
Yeah.
Solid album. So it's it's not their best work, it's not their worst work. It's a solid, and that's what I wanted from them. I didn't need the greatest album. I just needed like a solid Underachievers album. It's got some
Mm-hmm.
fucking bangers in there, and it's also got some just like solid songs. Like I think Megatron is one of my new favorite one of their releases in recent time, like all time. Like it's such an incredible song, which is off that new album. It's one of their singles that they released early. But solid album. So it's cool to be able to see that, you know, as time flows. Because the last thing I want is like, you know, get into an artist and like you start going down there and it's like, I mean, I guess for some artists it might be okay, but like if it's been like 10 years, you better switch it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely some metal bands that I'll tell you a metal band called Amon Amarth. They're like Viking metal from Sweden. A lot of their music is like Viking themed.
Yeah.
And they kind of just put out the same exact album over and over and over again. That's their thing. That's what they do. Everybody enjoys it.
Yeah.
It can get a little boring at times, but they also have some bangers.
Yeah.
But then something like I was saying with Norma Jean, dude, they have albums that are just ridiculously different, but you always get the sense like that is Norma Jean still, you know? You don't necessarily want your favorite band or a band you enjoy or an artist to change too much, but you also don't want them to stay exactly the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so interesting to watch. Is that evolution? It's exactly what I said.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely 100% agree. God damn. I have been dialed in to this drama.
Communication is alpha.